contract we signed with each other
Right.
to have sex with anybody else.
Right.
So these urges that come, I have to share them with the one person I decide to spend the rest of my life with.
Right.
So that brings me back to my soundbite.
Okay.
Right. I don't understand, and this is what we can discuss. As a woman, because I don't want to say it's a man versus woman thing, but a lot of women do complain, oh, my husband's always on me. Why is he always on me? If sex is going to be a chore for you that you don't really want to do, why do women constantly push monogamy on men? If you know that you don't want to have to deal with him all the time just wanting you, why do you push monogamy on men?
Well, who's to say I pushed anything on anybody? Like,
well, we know that you pushed monogamy on me.
I pushed monogamy. I forced you to get married to me?
Time out. I didn't say you forced me to get married, but did you not say to me that you wanted to be engaged and you wanted to be married before you lived with me? You didn't say that?
I want $1 billion. That don't mean I'm going to get it. I can want
but I'm
something,
asking,
but not...
You right now, you're dodging the question.
Nobody pressed you to do it. Yes, is that something I wanted? Yes, it was. But
you didn't press me. Are you gonna lie now
so
to the people because we talking about sex?
Devale,
you're gonna lie now to the people?
Devale, knowing
Khadeen, you didn't want monogamy?
Of course I did.
So then why are you avoiding the question?
That's not avoiding the question. I'm saying, does that mean because I wanted and I requested that you were gonna deliver it? Like, nobody pressed you for that.
At one point in the marriage, year 2, I said, you know what? I think I need a side chick because you're not giving me what I need sexually, and it's making me feel bad, and da-da-da-da. And Khadeen said, you know, Devale, whatever, do it.
Because at that point, I was just tired of arguing. I was like, that's going to make you feel better in this moment?
And I
Go ahead, my guy.
Yeah, and I said,
go ahead.
And I said, yo, I'm not saying this as a threat. I'm telling you what I'm about to go do. She said, Devale, go ahead, do what you got to do. Like,
did you really not care at that moment?
I didn't think he was going to do nothing.
Right.
To be quite honest, I was like, oh, this is like a
test.
That's what she thought. Yeah. And then, to be honest, it kind of was a test. What I wanted her to say was like, "You're not gonna go get a side chick. I'm gonna step up to the plate.
Yeah, I got you.
The things that you need because I'm your wife." And when she said, "Go ahead and do it," I felt like, dang, she really don't care that much about me. That she gonna let me go do it. So now I gotta go do it.
Yep.
So I ended up meeting a girl. We started talking, and we became friends. And I said to her, I said, "You know what? We can't have sex." Because we friends. Like, I wanted something transactional so I can do it and throw it away.
Yeah. Right.
So we became friends and started.
Marriage is one of those things where it's such an imperfect thing. Just like humans in the world, but God still decided to keep us around, right? So it's like one of those things where it's definitely worth working very hard for. And if you are married, it's so many attacks upon marriages in today's times that you want to keep what you have sacred. Is not something that you always have to share with the world, but protect it and cover it if you are in one, because it's so worth it. If you're not married, it's totally okay to be single and be in the space that you are in, and to just work on yourself, work on developing all the skills while you are waiting on God to send you that person that's going to be, you know, a good person for you. Now, when they got on this podcast, it did seem like they were possibly upset with each other already, or something was kind of agitating it here. I sensed some prior agitation before them just getting on this podcast and talking about this subject. You hear a lot of people say that they don't like glorify people that come on platforms advertising their public relationships, and because sometimes people can judge that and think that that's a perfect situation, and then a few months later it'll come some scandal down the line like this was going on or that was going on and nobody knew or had a clue. However, I still think it's some benefit in you know, people putting that out there if that's the desires of their heart. It's not something that you have to put out, or it should be the first thing to put out. Like me personally, I just feel like I would not put my marriage out for the world, because I don't feel like I'm in that perfect spot. And with marriage, you'll never be in a perfect spot, but I feel like I'm always learning, I'm always evolving, and that's just not something that I choose to share. So the content that I share on my platform is more so entertainment. You may see me share some of my artwork. I'll share on my other channel motivational mindset type videos. But if you are able to share content that is based around a relationship, then I consider you to be a brave soul, okay? And sometimes we need those examples just to see, like, okay, there is I think that's what the TV shows did for us back in the day, like the black TV shows like Family Matters, things like that. But it didn't give us the full spectrum of what goes on behind closed doors. And I think we can tend to get so much now. It's like, okay, maybe we don't want to actually see all that, and we want the content like how it used to be with just the black TV shows, right? So with this, in this video, they were basically going back and forth saying like, okay, why would you as a woman want, why would you want exclusivity if you know that you're not going to be able to keep up with my sexual appetite? And that was more so Devale's take on it. And Khadeen's take was like, had I had more of an idea of how marriage was going to be or what was required, I would have considered things a lot differently. And I think when we're younger and we're going into marriage, we're going into relationships, we're not fully aware of what that requires. But just because we're not fully aware of what that requires, what that entails, I don't think that's a reason to say that people should leave each other, or a valid reason for divorce, or just to leave the relationship because you didn't know. Marriage is about learning. So just like with parent and child, there's no manual that teaches us how to be a parent. There's no manual per se. We do have the Bible for guidance, but every marriage is going to be different. So there's no manual that comes with your specific marriage to say, okay, this is how things are going to go. This is how it's going to play out. This is the person that you have and their type personality, and this is exactly what you need to do for everything to be successful. So we have to learn and figure out as we go along the way. So she may not have known that these were the requirements. He may not have known that, like, okay, she couldn't actually, do this. So they were saying at some point they agreed to open up their marriage, and she was just like, basically, I told him that he could go be with somebody else or have another option, but I was not thinking that he would take that serious. And I think that's something to be careful with too. Like, don't just say things just to say things. Like, if you know that that's not truly what you feel or how you agree, if you know that ultimately you would not feel comfortable opening up your marriage, don't just say anything just to kind of get that person out of your ear for the moment. Because if they actually go do that and act on it like he did, it came back to be hurtful, and it came back to be surprising, like, oh dang, I just said that because I was mad or irritated at the moment, but I really didn't mean that. Now, on his perspective and his take on it, I think that, from the jump, you should be honest about what it is that you want. So maybe he thought that she would be able to fill his desires and needs in that way. It could have been that, or maybe, I'm sure if they were doing things before the relationship, he had an idea of what the pattern was like and how it was going to go. So if you know that you needed more, then maybe he should have also spoke up and said, like, listen, before I marry you, I'm just going to be honest with you and let you know that I need more than at the rate that we're going. So he also had that option, but it sounded like he wanted to, lock her into this monogamous relationship where it's you and I type situation, because I wonder, would he be okay with that being open on both ends? So him having it open on her end, maybe her desire would not be a sexual fulfilling relationship, but maybe emotionally. So maybe he could give in abundance sexually, but he may not be an emotional person. And would he be okay with opening up that marriage so that she could get her needs emotionally, he can, get his physically on that end? And you got to really ask yourself, like, would you be okay with that? So, that's something to definitely consider. I wouldn't feel comfortable opening up my marriage in that way. My reasoning would be, is because we live in times today where things are just so different, and people having different partners upon partners upon partners, that's a lot of fluids mixing, and it becomes too many fluids for me after a while. I don't like all of those fluids, okay? Because then we're talking about concoctions and things being created, diseases, bacteria, it's just a lot of things going on, okay? So even in relationships that were poly, I have always wondered how that works, because women's bodies react so different. Like, the pH balance is definitely a concern. And I just would not want my juices being mixed up with another woman and then brought back to me or into me. I think that is absolutely disgusting. But that's just my thought process on it. Some people may have a different thought process on it, where they'll be like, well, I could be clean, or I could be sanitary, but I just don't believe that. Like, in the heat of the moment, when a man's ready to go where he wants to go, he's ready to go where he wants to go. And they may not always take the proper protocol. So I just feel like I don't want to be exposed. You know, I don't want to be exposed to the things that are out there. I don't want to take a pill for the rest of my life because you have desires. So it's like, if you need to, you know, fulfill those desires, you can fulfill those, but you can't touch me. And we can't have those type of interactions if, you know, your appetite is that large to where you need to do that. That's fine. You know, it'll just have to be what it is. But as far as exposing myself and exposing my health is absolutely not an option. So I want to know what you guys think. This was a touchy subject. The idea is for everyone to, you know, be happy in a marriage, but I want to be healthy. I don't want to go out of here early because of a man's desires or, you know, physical desires. I just rather not, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think about this. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. Let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I know that I say that, but trust me, it means so much to me when you guys do that. I really appreciate the support. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.